In broad daylight, a man pulled into his quiet suburban driveway and was violently ambushed in his car. The victim was Dan Markel, a prominent, highly respected law professor at Florida State University. A neighbor heard the loud crack and looked out his window just in time to see a light-colored Toyota Prius speed away. In the garage, Markel was found slumped behind the wheel, still breathing but unresponsive. He died the next day. For nearly 2 years, the investigation stalled. Markel was a scholar, not a criminal. He had no ties to the drug trade, no debts, and no obvious enemies in his professional life. This total vacuum of standard motives forced investigators to look for a different kind of culprit. They began hunting for a highly personal vendetta, one with enough sophistication to remain invisible for years. The most intense conflict in Markel's life was a bitter divorce and an escalating custody war with his ex-wife, Wendy Adelsson. The Adelsons were an affluent family, built on a highly lucrative Miami dental practice. They were determined to relocate Wendy and the 2 young children away from Tallahassee and down to their base in South Florida. But Markel was winning in court. He successfully blocked the relocation and was preparing to file new motions to strictly limit Wendy's mother, Donna Adelsson, from having unsupervised visits with his sons. These impending legal filings were a direct threat. They carried the potential for severe professional damage to Wendy's legal career and threatened to permanently remove the Adelssons' influence over the children. For a family used to exerting control, the legal system had become an immovable object. The pressure was mounting, and the conflict had reached a breaking point where the traditional rules of the courtroom no longer seemed to apply. Identifying a hitman is only half the battle. When wealthy buyers are involved, they often insulate themselves behind layers of intermediaries, making it nearly impossible to link the crime back to the money. To break that silence, the FBI decided to launch an audacious undercover sting in April 2016. An undercover agent approached Donna Adelsson on a public street in Miami, posing as a blackmailer connected to the shooters. The agent handed Donna a newspaper flyer about Markel's murder. Written in marker was a demand for $5,000 to take care of the hitmen's families, along with a phone number. Donna's reaction was immediate. Within minutes, she was on the phone, making a series of urgent, panicked calls to her son, Charlie. This strategy is known as a bump. By inducing sudden, extreme stress, investigators force conspirators to start talking to each other, generating fresh evidence on lines that are already being monitored. The flurry of communication mapped out the conspiracy in real time. After hearing from his mother, Charlie Adelsson reached out to his ex-girlfriend, Catherine Magbanua, the suspected go-between. The very next day, Charlie and Catherine held an emergency meeting at the Dolce Vita restaurant in Miami. The FBI was already waiting. They secretly wired the restaurant, capturing a conversation that audio engineers later managed to clean up. On the wiretap, Charlie debated if the blackmailer was a cop. He told Catherine, quote, "How do you get people to talk? You throw a smoke grenade, and then you get all the cockroaches to run out." That open debate about the blackmail attempt effectively destroyed their plausible deniability. Charlie had just provided the link investigators needed to connect the Miami hitmen to the Tallahassee murder. Once the silence was broken, the dominoes fell. The 2 shooters were convicted, followed by the go-between, Catherine Magbanua, who received a life sentence for her role in the hit. In 2023, the alleged mastermind, Charlie Adelsson, was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. The family matriarch, Donna Adelsson, was arrested at the Miami airport while trying to flee to Vietnam. In 2025, she too was sentenced to life. That leaves one major unresolved thread. Dan Markel's ex-wife, Wendy Adelsson, has never been charged, though prosecutors have officially named her an unindicted co-conspirator. The Adelssons operated with the belief that their wealth made them untouchable. In the end, that arrogance was the exact lever investigators used to dismantle them. Was Wendy truly insulated from the plot, or is the investigation not over yet? Let us know what you think in the comments.